30 years have passed since genocide took hold of Cambodia. Today, there is some semblance of order and recovery in this society. But like cancer, the wounds wrought by genocide are sometimes invisible, but nonetheless lethal. Today, a disproportionately high percentage of the population in Cambodia suffers from mental health problems. But in this country of few medical resources, mental health is a seldom understood issue, receiving little attention, if at all. Chun Rut has been coming to the psychiatric clinic for 5 years now. During the first few visits, the cardiologist couldn't detect anything seriously wrong with her, despite her complaints of heart palpitations and of having difficulties breathing. It was only much later that they realized her problem was epilepsy.
បានទីខ្ញុំចូល clinic នេះគឺអារម្មណ៍ខ្ញុំគិតច្រើនទៅធ្វើឲ្យតិចដៃជើងរំធាត់នៅផ្លូវចិត្តឈឺក្បាលប្រកាច់ដៃប្រកាច់ជើងកងែងកងងដាត់រួញតេះតតាស់ខ្លួនរឹងដូចកត់អស់បេះដូងចង់គៀងពេលនោះខ្ញុំវេទនាទៅធ្លេកទៅថ្លាក់ណាស់សូម្បីតែលៀកសពុតក៏អត់ជាប់ដែរ
The source of her epilepsy was psychological. Of her 6 children, 1 is a prostitute and 2 suffer from HIV. Once rich, the family faced a sudden reversal of fortunes when the disease was detected, and they spent their last penny seeking medical treatment. She plies the lanes of Siem Reap every evening, locating her 2 HIV-stricken children, who, out of shame, avoid her. It is patients like Chun Rut that Stephen and Elizabeth Alderman came to Cambodia to help.
We're not crazy being in Cambodia now so long after the fact. People ask us why we're working in Cambodia. I mean, Pol Pot was years and years ago. Traumatic depression and PTSD does not go away. It stays with people unless it's treated. Not only does it stay with the traumatized person, but it goes to the next generation as well.
Steve Alderman first set foot in Cambodia in 2005. From the outset, his mission was clear: to restore to function people whose mental state had been wrecked by war and mass violence, thereby breaking the vicious cycle between poverty and mental illness. For Steve and his wife Liz, the importance of restoring people to mental health hit home one day in the unlikeliest of places. It was the 1st of September 2001, and the family was holidaying in Roussillon, France, to celebrate Steve's 60th birthday. Their 3 children, including their youngest son Peter, flew home to New York a week later. Little did they know that that would be the last time they'd see Peter. He was representing his company, Bloomberg, at a conference on the top floor of the World Trade Center on the morning of September 11th. His last message to his sister through email had been, "We're stuck. The room is filling with smoke. I'm scared." There were no remains of Peter. He was then 25 and had just started work. That sudden loss numbed Steve and Liz into a state of shock and sent their world into a tailspin.
I mean, love is what it's all about between a parent and a child. And as a parent, there were times I would have nightmares of what if something happened to one of my children. But the amazing thing is, when something like this, that's so devastating, occurs, you can either kill yourself or you can put one foot in front of the other.
Some part of Steve and Liz died along with Peter. But with the death came new life. This copper beech tree is where they come each time they miss him. Peter's friends had planted it here in memory of him 9 years ago. It stands as a cherished reminder of their child. But it is also a symbol of how, in their grief, they felt they had to leave a mark on this earth for Peter's sake.
Peter was our youngest child. He had just turned 25 when he was killed. Peter was laughter and sunshine. Peter was an incredibly caring, compassionate person. We knew we had to create our own memorial for Peter. I watched a Nightline broadcast, and in that broadcast I learned that there were 1 billion people, that's 1/6 of humanity, who had directly experienced torture, terrorism, or mass violence. And of those that survived, over 50% of them suffered from such debilitating, incapacitating, traumatic depression and PTSD that they could no longer live their lives. And I started thinking while I was watching this broadcast, this might be the perfect thing to do to honor Peter. Peter loved life. There was nothing we could do for Pete. But if we could return these people back to life, then this was the perfect memorial for him.
They called the memorial the Peter C. Alderman Foundation. They began by partnering with a Harvard University expert, training Indigenous caregivers on how to deal with their emotionally wounded populations. They've now 9 mental health clinics spread out across Cambodia, Uganda, Rwanda, and Haiti. And to date, they've trained over 350 doctors and have reached more than 100,000 people suffering from depression and post-traumatic stress disorder. Steve and Liz have received numerous awards for what is regarded as thoughtful and effective philanthropic work. Among them, the prestigious Purpose Prize in 2009 in San Francisco.
We didn't know the first thing about philanthropy. We didn't know anything about mental health. This all started because we wanted to leave a mark for Peter. We wanted to leave a mark that he had existed on this earth, and that because he lived, the world would be a better place.
Chun Rut has never met Peter. But for her, and others like her, who receive spiritual counseling and medical treatment through the foundation, the clinics have been a lifeline. Because Peter lived, and because he died, they can have a chance at life again. Love is a strange, unfathomable thing. Love for a son, love for one's country. It has a force all its own, leading us where it wills.